Hey, what's up everyone? So for today we're going to be doing an install video for the Titanum12 phantom power unit on this Ibanez RG7620. I had this thing rigged up like this just to test it out and I fell in love with it. So now I want to install it permanently in this guitar, and I'm going to go through step by step and show you how you can do so also. This is the box that came in here. If you're not familiar with it, Titanum12. Like I said, I'm going to go through step by step. What we're going to do is we're going to put in a stereo jack. I thought this had one in it, but it didn't. So that's one thing you will need is a stereo jack. If not, your battery will die. You can just unplug your battery every time you're not playing, but that's kind of a hassle. Who wants to do that? So my plan as of now, we're going to replace that with a stereo jack. I'm going to remove this tone pot. I'm not real into using the tone. I normally have it all the way up, or I'll accidentally be playing and cut it down and have to re-record stuff, things like that. And also I like to move the volume pot where the tone pot is, because you can just dig in more and get more action when you're, shredding and playing those fast high notes. So we're going to do that, and then to make this fit, we're also going to be doing some routing. Not a whole lot, but right now my idea is just taking out a little chunk right here, so we can get all this to fit back in there, no problem. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go through step by step and show you guys how you can install one on your guitar as well. Let's get into it. Rock on. All right, so we're about to get started on this Titanum12 install. First thing I like to do is take a couple photos of how my wiring is, so if I can't remember anything, how to put it back together, whatever, I can refer to my photos. So I recommend doing that. So let's get some pictures here. Also, something cool, Titanum12 gives you a little USB or USB-C drive to put in your computer, which shows you how to wire this, which you can also refer to. So kind of some of the minimum tools we're gonna need: some needle nose, some wire strippers, small adjustable, little multi-tool helps, a knife you could strip your wire with if you need to. You're gonna need, it's plugged in so I can't really pull the whole thing over here, but a soldering gun, soldering iron, whatever you want to call it. You'll need some flux, and you're gonna need some solder. Alright, so let's get into it. So to start with, I believe I'm going to just unsolder this Titanum12 unit, get it out of the way to start with, and then we'll probably loosen the nuts on all this stuff and unsolder it as well. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so just like that, we got our Titanum12 unit uninstalled. So we're just gonna set this over here out of the way for right now. We'll set this off of here. We're gonna clean all that up. And now I believe I'm gonna loosen this hardware up, these nuts off, and get this unsoldered. what I got now is I'm gonna have this ground wire here that's going to this pickup selector, that black one. I'm gonna have to get it out of there completely and run a new longer ground to move this over to here, and then with the white wire going to my pickup selector, I'm gonna also have to disconnect that and run a longer wire to get it over there. So no big deal, I got some extra wire, so let's get into that. All right. So now we got everything unhooked, but just gonna kind of show you my plan here is to, we'll put that volume back here. I'm gonna end up getting, they make these rubber black grommet, something like that, I guess you'd call it. I'm gonna use to cap that hole. But the idea is we are going to shave down a good chunk of this right here. I'm going to try to just shave enough where I can still put the existing back plate on it. So, you know, it may just have 3 screws instead of 4, but we're going to route out a good bit of this material right here. And then my plan is to have that sitting there, and then the 9-volt battery will be somewhere either like this or on a side like that. But that's kind of my idea right now. May change as we get into it, but I don't see why that won't fit, because you have that right there all the way up against that, but it'll kind of be in that space, and then you'll have theoretically this kind of amount of space for this to do this in here. And if we end up routing a little more than that, what I'm going to do is just get a custom backplate made, or make one myself. Alright, so let's get our routing stuff. Alright, so now we're going to take some tape, painter's tape, and try to make us, I guess, a guide where we want to go. So try and come down here, you know, and just leave that little edge there still, so I can still use that. So I can still use that for the pick guard. The bit I got is 1 inch in depth, so I'm gonna go pretty much that whole 1 inch. All right, so let's get it outside and get into it. Alright, so we're outside. I got my router here with the 1 inch bit. And we're gonna just go along this line here. So I don't know how good you're gonna be able to see this, but alright. So here we go. Last little bit out of there without cutting these wires. Alright, so let's get this cleaned out, and we're going to see if this fits with this how we got it right here. We may have to go a little deeper right there. So our routing went well. I did a little dry fit and everything's gonna fit in there. So now we're just gonna come in with a little Dremel. All right, here we go. We got that all pretty smoothed out. Back inside, we got our guitar routed and we sanded it a little bit. One other thing I'd recommend doing is getting some copper shielding paint, or you could get the copper tape. I ordered some shielding paint. I don't have any right now, so I'm gonna come back and put that in later, but we're just gonna continue on for now and get it up and going. Okay, so before we get everything back in, I think I'm gonna pop in because I may have to shave this down. But to cover this hole where the volume pot used to be, I got some nylon hole plugs or grommets, whatever you want to call them, from Lowe's, and I got two different sizes. I wasn't 100% sure on the size, but I got this idea from a guitar player named Wes Houck. It's in a band called Louisville. Shit, these both might be too small. Oh, looks like that one's gonna fit. So it's just all it is. Just put it in there like that. That bit off, so I want that T12 to sit flat on it. That's all it is. Alright, so we got this shaved down some there. So pretty much just, that's what you got there. So placeholder so there's not a hole. We got our three-way switch. Back in there, the drum this way, we may have to spin it around. I'm not going to screw it in yet. So no, we're not using our push pull. Something I really didn't use a lot, so we're just going to take those off. Okay, so then we're going to need to get our volume pot back in. Take our lock washer, volume pot, and get it there. I'm not going to screw that on right now anyways. Right. So we got to hook our white wire back to here, so that wire is not long enough. So what we're going to do is just take a new wire here. This end's already stripped. So we'll get a little bit of solder on there. Now we're going to wire the neck pickup back up. It goes right here to the three-way selector. Alright, let's put that on. Now we're going to get the bridge. Bridge pickup wire back. It's gonna go right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just unsolder this ground wire because I know I'm gonna need a longer one here. Alright. Alright, then we're going to wire our ground from our three-way switch to our volume pot here. Now I'm going to wire my grounds together here. And I think what I'm going to do, run another ground from that so I can get over here because these are too short. This red wire here, normally I would do that in black, but we're going to do it in this red. Take the green wire from the Titanum12 and it is going to go in the middle space here. So we're going to want to get our input jack and gotta make sure you've got a stereo input jack. I ordered this from Tessie. They're an awesome company that make a lot of cool stuff. Check them out. Alright, so we got our jack here. On our input jack we need the yellow wire from the Titanum12. Also something important to remember. Don't wire it like that, I've done that before also. Alright, sweet, so we got that. Okay, so now we'll put this black to the ground. Supposed to be right there. Oh, I'm missing something. I think we got everything wired. Alright, so we'll hook our battery up here. Let's see. Oh yeah, sounds like we got power, yo. Heck yeah. So we're gonna get everything put back together. So the way we got it routed, we can still put this old plate over here and it's going to cover everything up.